Christ, the Redeemer, stands immobile on its peak. Yet this colossal giant of reinforced concrete should never have been possible, weighing approximately 635 metric tons and standing 30 meters tall. It defies gravity at 700 meters above sea level. It faces east over the breathtaking panorama of Rio, enduring Atlantic storms and winds that often exceed 200 kilometers per hour. Its inspiring story begins in 1921, when Brazil sought a powerful symbol to mark the centenary of its independence from Portugal. Mount Corcovado, the Hunchback, was chosen for its dramatic location, but constructing anything there seemed almost insane. Engineer Heitor da Silva Costa won the design competition, though his original idea was quite different. He initially proposed a Christ figure holding a cross in one hand and a globe in the other. Critics mocked it as Christ with the ball, and harsh public feedback forced him to rethink the entire concept. Collaborating with artist Carlos Oswald, Silva Costa arrived at a brilliant solution. The statue itself would embody the cross. The final Art Deco design was clean, modern, and elegantly simple, but it carried enormous technical challenges. How could such a cross-shaped structure, with arms stretching 28 meters wide, resist the powerful crosswinds at that exposed height? In the 1920s, the choice of material became the central dilemma. Many engineers favored steel, following the example of the Eiffel Tower. Silva Costa, however, took a bold and unconventional path by selecting reinforced concrete. Steel would have corroded rapidly in the salty ocean air, requiring constant and prohibitively expensive maintenance. Reinforced concrete, the artificial stone of the future, had never been pushed to such heights or used for such a complex monument. The critical stress calculations were entrusted to French engineer Albert Cacquot, one of the era's greatest structural experts. Cacquot meticulously accounted for the statue's own weight, and especially for dynamic wind pressure. Reinforced concrete delivered strength, yet it introduced fresh difficulties. How could workers pour it uniformly without dangerous air bubbles? While Brazilian teams analyzed the rocky foundation, the artistic vision took shape far away in Paris. Silva Costa understood that plain concrete required an artist's sensitive touch to achieve true dignity and beauty. He collaborated with French Polish sculptor Paul Landowski, who worked in his studio in Bull. Landowski crafted full-scale plaster models of the head and hands. The head measured 3.75 meters tall, and each hand 3.20 meters long. Romanian sculptor Gheorghe Lenita assisted in refining the serene, compassionate face. These models were sectioned into dozens of pieces to form molds that were carefully shipped across the ocean to Rio de Janeiro. On the summit, the molds were filled with reinforced concrete around a precisely engineered internal metal framework. Every numbered block had to align with perfect precision. Even a few millimeters of error could translate into meters of misalignment. The construction site, active from 1926, presented extreme logistical nightmares. No paved roads led to the top. Every kilogram of material had to be hauled up the narrow Corcovado Railway, a rack railway dating back to the late 19th century. The available space at the peak was so restricted that large stockpiles were impossible. The entire operation functioned like a flawlessly synchronized machine. Supplies arriving in the morning had to be assembled or poured by evening. Workers endured profound isolation, often laboring inside thick clouds that rendered the scaffolding wet, slippery, and nearly invisible. Despite the complete absence of modern safety harnesses, not a single worker lost his life during the 9 years of construction in Europe. Today, many visitors imagine Christ the Redeemer as a solid mass of stone, but it is actually a hollow structure, equivalent to a 12-story building. Inside runs an intricate network of diagonal pillars and crisscrossing beams that efficiently distribute the load downward to deep foundations. A narrow internal metal staircase spirals through the statue, granting maintenance access from the feet all the way up to the arms and head. At chest level, the space widens to reveal a specially molded heart-shaped protuberance carefully formed both inside and out. This hidden heart serves as a secret signature from the engineers, and even contains personal messages, such as scrolls with family names. Reinforced concrete offers great strength but remains porous and prone to cracking under repeated thermal expansion and contraction. To safeguard the core, Silva Costa selected steatite, commonly known as soapstone, quarried in Minas Gerais. This remarkable stone is soft and easy to carve when freshly mined, yet it hardens significantly and becomes highly impermeable after exposure. Its light color and natural resistance to rain, intense sun, and temperature swings made it ideal. covering the statue's complex curved surfaces demanded extraordinary manual craftsmanship. The soapstone was meticulously cut into approximately 6 million tiny triangular tiles, each about 3 centimeters on each side. Rather than applying them individually, Silva Costa mobilized thousands of women from Rio's parishes and society. These dedicated volunteers glued the pieces by hand onto large sheets of linen paper or metallic mesh, creating flexible mineral wallpaper. Many women inscribed personal messages on the backs of the tiles, names of husbands, children, or heartfelt secret wishes, transforming the project into a profound community endeavor filled with hidden human stories and emotions. The finished skin shimmers and reflects light differently at every hour of the day, while effectively shielding the internal steel reinforcement. The statue is never a uniform gray. Its millions of stone fragments give it a vibrant, living appearance. Perched as the highest point on an isolated peak, the Chri naturally attracts lightning, sometimes struck up to 6 times annually. To avert disaster, the entire internal framework functions as a giant Faraday cage. Nevertheless, the sheer power of tropical lightning can still vaporize soapstone on impact. In 2014, a particularly fierce strike damaged the back of the head and severed the tip of the right thumb, prompting urgent repairs. Restoration crews, highly skilled workers who double as professional climbers, must stab seal from the head, carefully traverse the outstretched arms, and meticulously reconstruct the damaged sections using original quarry soapstone. Broader restoration projects included thorough cleaning to remove fungi and microorganisms, crack repairs, and internal iron strengthening. On October 12, 1931, despite heavy rain, the lights were turned on for the first time, and the world beheld a creation that transcended pure art or pure engineering. It was their perfect, harmonious union. Christ the Redeemer remains far more than a monument. It embodies 9 years of rigorous calculations, millions of hand-glued stones, and an audacious vision that transformed an inaccessible mountain summit into one of the planet's most beloved global icons. Today, modern escalators and panoramic elevators ease visitor access, though originally pilgrims climbed over 200 steps. The next time you gaze upon the statue, remember the remarkable engineering hidden beneath its shimmering stone skin, the heart of reinforced concrete and steel that boldly redefined the boundaries of modern architecture. Engineering is not merely cold numbers and formulas, it is also the profound human courage to dream vertically, overcoming wind, altitude, isolation, and the relentless passage of time.